you ever walked into a room and instantly felt drawn to someone, even before they said a word? Or have you ever met someone who just seemed to radiate confidence and charisma? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to become that person. Did you know that people make judgments about you within the first 7 seconds of meeting you? That's right, 7 seconds. Get this, 93% of communication is nonverbal. Mind-blowing, right? Your aura plays a huge role in that first impression, and I'm going to show you how to make those 7 seconds count. Alright, let's get into it. What exactly is an aura? No, it's not some mystical force field, although that would be pretty cool. Your aura is essentially the energy you project to the world. It's a combination of your body language, tone of voice, your facial expressions, and even your thoughts and emotions. It's like your personal brand, but on a whole other level. Now, I know some of you skeptics out there are probably rolling your eyes right now, but hear me out. There's actual science behind this. You've heard of the subconscious mind, right? Well, our subconscious picks up on subtle cues from others all the time. We're basically talking bundles of energy, constantly sending and receiving signals. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at this networking event, feeling totally out of place. I was slouching, avoiding eye contact, basically trying to become invisible. And guess what? And then, no one approached me. It was like I had an ignore me sign plastered on my forehead. But then something crazy happened. I remembered some of the techniques I'm about to share with you, and I decided to try them out. I stood up straight, smiled, and started projecting confidence. Within minutes, people were gravitating towards me. It was like magic. Except it wasn't magic at all. It was all about the energy I was projecting. Now, you might be wondering, okay, that's great for you, but how does this apply to me? Well, stick around, because in the next section, I'm going to reveal the #1 mistake people make when trying to improve their aura. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, are you ready for this? The #1 mistake people make when trying to improve their aura is, drumroll please, trying to be someone they're not. Boom. Mind blown, right? Here's the thing. Your aura is all about authenticity. You can't fake it till you make it, at least not in the long run. People can sense inauthenticity from a mile away. It's like trying to pass off a rubber duck as a swan. It might work for a second, but eventually, people are going to notice something's off. Let's get a bit nerdy for a second. There's this concept in psychology called cognitive dissonance. It's what happens when your actions don't align with your beliefs or values. When you try to project an aura that doesn't match who you really are, you create this internal conflict. And guess what? That conflict leaks out into your aura, making you seem uncomfortable, unsure, or even dishonest. Take a moment right now and think about a time when you tried to be someone you're not. Maybe it was at a job interview or on a first date. How did it feel? Uncomfortable, right? That discomfort is cognitive dissonance in action, and it's an aura killer. But don't worry, I'm not just here to point out problems. In the next section, we're going to start building your authentic, powerful aura from the ground up. And let me tell you, once you master this, you'll be unstoppable. People won't just notice you when you walk into a room. They'll feel your presence before you even arrive. Foundation of a strong aura. Alright, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Building a strong aura starts from within. It's like constructing a skyscraper. You need a solid foundation before you can reach for the stars. Step 1. Self-awareness. First step in building your aura is knowing yourself. And I mean, really knowing yourself. What are your values? What makes you tick? What are your strengths and weaknesses? This isn't just some fluffy self-help advice. This is crucial. Let's do a quick exercise. Grab a pen and paper. I'll wait. Seriously, pause the video and go get them. Got them? Okay, great. Now I want you to write down 3 words that describe your ideal self. Not who you think you should be, but who you truly want to be at your core. Take a minute to do this. Done? Awesome. Those 3 words are the cornerstone of your aura. Everything we do from here on out is going to be about aligning your energy with those words. Step 2. Emotional intelligence. Now that you know yourself, it's time to get in tune with your emotions. Emotional intelligence is like the secret sauce of a strong aura. It's about recognizing and managing your own emotions and being able to understand and influence the emotions of others. There's this part of our brain called the limbic system. It's responsible for our emotions, and it's constantly communicating with other people's limbic system. It's like we have these invisible antennae picking up on each other's emotional states. When you have high emotional intelligence, you're basically fine-tuning your antennae. I used to be a total emotional wreck. One minute I'd be on top of the world, the next I'd be spiraling into anxiety. My aura was all over the place. People could sense it. But then I started practicing mindfulness, emotional regulation technique. The change was incredible. People started commenting on how calming my presence was. Little did they know, I was just finally getting a handle on my own emotional roller coaster. Now you might think that being emotionally intelligent means always being positive and happy, but hold on to your hats, because in the next section, I'm going to explain why that's actually not the case, and how embracing your full emotional spectrum can make your aura even stronger. The power of emotional authenticity. Alright, are you ready for this? Here's a truth bomb for you. A strong aura isn't about being happy all the time. Shocking, I know. But hear me out. Emotional authenticity is the name of the game. It's about being true to what you're feeling in the moment, while still maintaining control and awareness. Think about it. We're drawn to people who are real, who aren't afraid to show vulnerability, who can express a full range of emotions. There's this concept in psychology called emotional contagion. It's the idea that emotions can spread from person to person, like a virus. When you're emotionally authentic, you create a sense of trust and connection. People can relate to you because they see their own emotional experiences reflected in you. Let's try something. Think about someone you really admire. Got someone in mind? Okay, now think about why you admire them. I bet it's not because they're always perfect or always happy. Probably because they're real, they're genuine, and they're not afraid to show their true selves. Step 3. Embracing your full emotional spectrum. So how do we apply this to building a strong aura? It's about acknowledging and accepting all of your emotion, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you're happy, let that joy radiate from you. When you're sad or angry, don't try to hide it. Acknowledge it, express it appropriately, and work through it. I remember giving a presentation once, and I was nervous as hell. Instead of trying to hide it, I started by saying, I've got to be honest, I'm pretty nervous right now. You know what happened? The whole room visibly relaxed. People smiled and nodded. By being vulnerable and authentic, I created an instant connection with my audience. My aura went from anxious to relatable in seconds. Now, we've laid the groundwork for a strong, authentic aura. But here's where it gets really interesting. In the next section, we're going to talk about how to project that aura to the world. And let me tell you, some of these techniques are going to surprise you. Ever heard of the power pose? Well, we're about to take it to a whole new level. Alright, we've done the inner work. Now it's time to let that amazing aura of yours shine for the world to see. This is where the magic happens. Step 4. Body language. Your body is constantly communicating, even when you're not saying a word. In fact, research shows that body language accounts for 55% of communication. That's huge. There's this fascinating concept called embodied cognition. It's the idea that our physical experiences shape our thoughts and emotions. In other words, changing your body language can actually change how you feel and how others perceive you. Let's try something right now. Wherever you are, stand up and do this. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, put your hands on your hips, lift your chin, and push your chest out slightly. Hold this pose for just 2 minutes. Seriously, do it now. I'll wait. How do you feel? More confident? More powerful? This is what's known as a power pose. And studies have shown it can actually increase testosterone and decrease cortisol, the stress hormone in your body. It's like a cheat code for confidence. Step 5. Eye contact. Now let's talk about the windows to the soul, your eyes. Making proper eye contact is crucial for projecting a strong aura. There's a fine line between confident eye contact and creepy staring. I used to be terrible at eye contact. I'd either avoid it completely or overcompensate and end up staring people down like some kind of deranged owl. Neither approach did wonders for my aura, let me tell you. But then I learned the 50-70 rule, and it changed everything. The 50-70 rule goes like this. In normal conversation, make eye contact 50% of the time. When you're listening, make eye contact 70% of the time. It's the perfect balance between engaged and respectful. Now, you might be thinking, this is great for in-person interactions, but what about in our increasingly digital world? Well, hold on to your smartphones because in the next section, we're going to dive into how to project a strong aura online. And trust me, it's not just about having a good profile picture. Welcome to the digital age, where your aura extends beyond your physical presence and into the vast realm of the internet. That's right, we're talking about your digital aura, and it's just as important as your in-person energy. Step 6. Consistency across platform. Key to a strong digital aura is consistency. Your online presence should be an authentic extension of your real-world self. This doesn't mean you need to share every detail of your life online, but your values, your voice, and your energy should be consistent, whether someone's talking to you face-to-face or reading your tweets. Take a moment to pull up your social media profiles. Look at your last few posts on each platform. Do they they align with the 3 words you wrote down earlier? Your ideal self? If not, might be time for a digital aura cleanse. Step 7. Engaging authentically. It's not just about what you post, but how you interact online. Respond to comments, engage in conversations, and show genuine interest in others. Your digital aura is strengthened every time you make a meaningful connection online. There's this concept in psychology called the disinhibition effect. Basically, people tend to be more open and less restrained online than they are in person. This can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows for more honest and open communication. On the other, it can lead to behavior that doesn't align with your true self. Key is to use this effect to your advantage. Be more open and authentic online, but always in a way that aligns with your values. I'll never forget the time I got into a heated argument in a comment section. I was trying to prove a point, and I ended up saying things I would never say in person. Afterward, I felt terrible. My online behavior wasn't aligned with who I really was, and it definitely wasn't contributing to a positive aura. From that day on, I made a pact with myself. I would never post anything online that I wouldn't be comfortable saying to someone's face. Now, here's something that might ruffle some feathers. I believe that in today's world, your digital aura can be even more powerful than your physical one. Intrigued? Skeptical? Well, in the next section, we're going to explore why that might be the case, and how you can use it to your advantage. The reach of your digital aura. Alright, let's talk about why your digital aura might actually be more influential than your physical one in today's world. It all comes down to one word. Think about it. In your day-to-day life, how many people do you interact with face-to-face? Maybe a few dozen if you're particularly social. But online, your potential reach is in the millions. Your digital aura has the power to influence people you've never met, in places you've never been. There's a concept in network theory called the small world phenomenon. It's the idea that all people are connected through a surprisingly small number of connections. In the digital age, this phenomenon is supercharged. Your online presence can reach far beyond your immediate circle, creating what's known as weak ties, connections that can be surprisingly influential. Step 8. Cultivating your digital presence. So, how do we harness this power? It's all about intentionality. Every post, every comment, every share is an opportunity to strengthen your digital aura. But remember, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Let's do a quick audit. Think about the last thing you shared online. Now, ask yourself these questions. 1. Does this align with my values? 2. Does this contribute something positive to the world? 3. Would I be comfortable with everyone I know seeing this? If you answered yes to all 3, congratulations. You're on the right track to building a strong digital aura. I used to be a chronic oversharer online. I'd post about every little thing that happened in my day thinking it made me relatable. But then I noticed something. The posts that really resonated with people, ones that strengthened my digital aura, were the ones where I shared something meaningful, a lesson I'd learned, a challenge I'd overcome, a moment of genuine connection. That's when I realized a strong digital aura isn't about being seen, it's about being valuable. Now, all this talk about cultivating a digital presence might have some of you wondering, isn't this all a bit fake, manipulative, even? Well, in the next section, we're going to tackle this ethical dilemma head on. And let me tell you, the answer might surprise you. The ethics of aura building. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. Is all this aura building just a fancy way of saying fake it till you make it? Are we talking about manipulating people? These are important questions, and I'm glad we're discussing them. Here's the truth. Building a strong aura isn't about manipulation. It's about amplification. It's about taking the best parts of yourself and learning how to share them more effectively with the world. There's a psychological concept called self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the idea that a belief or expectation can influence the way we behave, which in turn can make that belief become reality. When you work on building a strong aura, you're essentially creating a positive self-fulfilling prophecy. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're becoming the best version of yourself. Step 9. Ethical aura building. The key to ethical aura building is authenticity. Remember those 3 words you wrote down at the beginning? That's your compass. Every action you take to strengthen your aura should align with those core aspects of yourself. I struggled with this myself when I first started working on my aura. I thought I needed to be louder, more outgoing, more charismatic in the traditional sense, but it felt wrong, like I was wearing a costume that didn't fit. It wasn't until I embraced my natural introversion and learned to project quiet confidence that my aura really started to shine. And you know what? People responded to that authenticity far more than they ever did to my attempts at being a social butterfly. Let's do a quick check-in. Think about the aspects of your aura we've discussed so far. Your self-awareness, your emotional intelligence, your body language, your online presence. For each of these, ask yourself, is this helping me me become more authentically myself, or am I trying to be someone I'm not? Be honest with yourself. Remember, a truly strong aura can only come from a place of authenticity. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Building a strong, authentic aura can actually change you as a person. It's a bit of a paradox. By becoming more authentically yourself, you evolve into a new version of yourself. Intrigued? In the next section, we're going to explore this transformation and how to navigate it. Welcome to one of the most exciting parts of our journey, the aura evolution. This is where things get really transformative. As you work on building your aura, you'll likely notice changes in yourself. You might become more confident, more empathetic, more self-aware. This isn't just a side effect of aura building, it's the whole point. There's a concept in psychology called neuroplasticity. It's the brain's ability to form new neural connections throughout life. When you consistently practice the techniques we've discussed, mindfulness, emotional regulation, confident body language, you're actually rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways that support your stronger aura. Step 10. Embracing growth. The key here is to embrace this growth. Don't be afraid of changing. Remember, you're not becoming someone else. You're becoming a more realized version of yourself. I remember when I first started noticing changes in myself. I was more confident in meetings, more compassionate with friends, more creative in my work. At first, it was a little scary. I wondered if I was losing myself, but then I realized this was me, just a more actualized version. It was like I had been living in black and white, and suddenly the world was in color. Let's take a moment to visualize your evolved aura. Close your eyes and imagine yourself a year from now. After consistently working on strengthening your aura, how do you carry yourself? How do you interact with others? How do you feel? Really let yourself feel the confidence, the authenticity, the strength of your evolved aura. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This journey isn't always easy. There will be challenges along the way, but in the next section, we're going to talk about how to overcome these obstacles and keep your aura strong even in difficult times. And trust me, this is where the real magic happens. Maintaining your aura in time. All right, let's get real for a moment. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. There will be times when maintaining your strong aura feels impossible. Maybe you're stressed or tired or facing a major life challenge. How do you keep your aura shining in these moments? Step 11. Aura resilience. This is where we develop what I like to call aura resilience. It's the ability to maintain your authentic energy even when life gets tough. There's a psychological concept called stress inoculation. It's the idea that exposure to moderate levels of stress can actually make us more resilient to future stress. When you practice maintaining your aura during small challenges, you're essentially inoculating yourself against bigger stressors. I'll never forget the day I had to give a major presentation at work. That morning, I spilled coffee on my shirt, got stuck in traffic, and arrived at the office feeling frazzled and defeated. My aura was in shambles, but then I remembered my tools. I took a few deep breaths, did a quick power pose in the bathroom. Yes, really. And reminded myself of my core values. By the time I stepped into the meeting room, my aura was back in full force. The presentation was a success, and afterwards, a colleague commented on how calm and confident I seemed. If only they knew. Let's practice some aura resilience right now. Think of a challenging situation you're currently facing or might face soon. Now, imagine approaching that situation with your strong aura fully intact. How would you carry yourself? What would you say? How would it feel? Really visualize it. This mental rehearsal can actually prepare you for the real thing. Now I've saved the best for last. In our final section, I'm going to share with you the secret weapon of aura building. This technique is so powerful, it can transform your aura almost instantly. Intrigued? You should be. This is the game changer you've been waiting for. The secret weapon, radipathy. Here it is, folks. The secret weapon of aura building. Radical empathy. Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is some fluffy feel-good advice, hear me out. This is the real deal. Radical empathy is about going beyond just understanding others' feelings. It's about truly putting yourself in their shoes, seeing the world from their perspective, and connecting with them on a deep level. There's fascinating research on something called mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire both when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform the same action. They're thought to be the neurological basis for empathy. When you practice radical empathy, you're essentially supercharging your mirror neuron, creating a powerful connection with others. Step 12. Practicing radical empathy. So how do we do this? Starts with genuine curiosity. In every interaction, approach the other person with a desire to truly understand them. Listen more than you speak. Ask questions. And here's the key. Suspend judgment. Even if you disagree with someone, try to see the world from their perspective. I once had a coworker who I just couldn't get along with. We were constantly butting heads, and it was affecting the whole team. One day, I decided to try radical empathy. Instead of getting frustrated with him, I got curious. I asked about his background, his challenges, goals, and you know what? I discovered that a lot of his behavior stemmed from insecurity and a fear, failure, things I could totally relate to. From that moment on, our relationship completely transformed. Not only did it make our work environment better, but I could feel my own aura strengthen as I developed this deeper understanding and connection. Let's practice some radical empathy right now. Think of someone you've been in conflict with or someone you don't understand. Now, imagine their life story. What might have shaped their beliefs and behaviors? What challenges might they be facing that you don't know about? Spend a few minutes really putting yourself in their shoes. Feel how this shift in perspective changes your energy. We're nearly at the end of our journey, but I have one final challenge for you. In our last section, I'm going to ask you to do something that might feel a little scary, but I promise it will be transformative. Are you ready to take your aura to the next level? This is it, folks. Culmination of everything we've learned. I challenge you to commit to 30 days of intentional aura building. Here's how it works. Every day for the next 30 days, I want you to 1. Start your day with a power pose and a reminder of your 3 core words. 2. Practice radical empathy in at least one interaction. 3. Do one thing that authentically expresses your values, either in person or online. 4. End your day by journaling about how these actions affected your aura and the responses you got from others. There's a concept in psychology called habit formation. Research suggests it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, but you can start seeing results much sooner. By committing to this 30-day challenge, you're kickstarting new neural pathways and behaviors will strengthen your aura. I did this challenge myself a few years ago, and let me tell you, it was life-changing. The first week was tough. I felt self-conscious and wasn't sure if it was making a difference. But by week 2, I started noticing subtle changes. People were responding to me differently. I felt more confident, more aligned with my true self. By the end of the 30 days, my aura was radiant. I walked into rooms and could feel the energy shift. Opportunities started coming my way that I never would have imagined before. Let's kick off this challenge right now. In the comments below, write "I commit" if you're ready to take on the 30-day aura challenge. Let's support each other on this journey. We've covered a lot of ground today, from understanding what an aura really is to building it from the inside out, projecting it both in person and online. We've talked about the ethics of aura building, how to maintain your aura in challenging times, and the transformative power of radical empathy. Remember, building a strong aura isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the most authentic, powerful version of yourself. It's about aligning your energy with your true values and learning to project that energy to the world. As you go forward and apply these techniques, remember that this is a journey. There will be ups and downs, moments of radiance and moments of doubt. But with consistency and authenticity, you will develop an aura that not only lights up every room you enter, but also positively impacts every person you meet. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of aura building. I can't wait to hear about your experiences with the 30-day challenge. Until next time, keep shining bright.